If your landing pages, emails, or any content you're putting out is not converting, it's not because your offer sucks. It's because no one is paying attention. And without attention, no clicks, no leads, no sales. Everyone says the same thing. Post more, be everywhere, but that's exhausting and doesn't work fast enough. Here's the real problem. You're trying to be louder when you should be sharper. The best performing campaigns across any channel use the same psychological system to grab attention and convert it. No hacks, no trends, a system. I've used this exact approach to flip underperforming campaigns into consistent converters. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Rashid. I'm a growth marketer with over 9 years experience helping you make sense of marketing in the AI economy. In this video, I'm showing you the 4-part system that grabs attention, holds it, and turns it into conversions. Let's get into it. So in the Wolf of Wall Street movie, Jordan Belfort is interviewing potential stockbrokers. He hands them a pen and says, "Sell me this pen." Most of them hesitate. They start pitching the pen. Then he gives the pen to Brad. Brad takes it, looks at it, and hands it back to Jordan and says, "Do me a favor, write your name down for me." Jordan looks around and says, "I don't have a pen." And Brad says, "Exactly, supply and demand, my friend." And here's the important part. The moment didn't work because Brad was clever. It worked because he understood the problem better than anyone else in the room. He didn't pitch, he changed the situation and made the need obvious. And that's where most marketing breaks. People jump straight to pitching features, benefits, claims, and offers without ever asking, does the customer actually feel the problem yet? Because you can have the best offer in the world, but if demand hasn't been created first, nothing converts. And demand isn't actually magic, it's engineered. And that's what this framework is about. It's not about writing better content, landing pages, or emails. It's about understanding your market so deeply enough that when you finally show the offer, people are already leaning in. So let's start with part 1 of this 4-part system, which is stop guessing. If your marketing isn't converting, 9 times out of 10, this is why. Before you do anything else, you need to get out of your own way and stop guessing what the market wants and needs. You see, at the end of the day, the market doesn't care about you, your product, or how good you think it is. They care about themselves and the problem they're trying to solve. The biggest mistake I see people make is skipping this step. They grab a template, throw in buzzwords, let AI fill in the gaps, and hit publish. That doesn't work. What actually makes people buy is understanding how your prospect thinks. When you know what they're struggling with, what they've already tried, and what they are skeptical about, you can speak to them in a way that feels direct and relevant. And all the tactics in the world won't save you if you're guessing what your customers want. The questions you need answers to are simple. What problems are they trying to solve? What frustrates them about it? And why haven't other options worked? To answer that, you need to understand the alternatives they are already exposed to. What are they seeing every day? What claims have they heard before? What promises do they no longer believe? Your job is to speak to the market in their exact language. You do not want to sound like a marketer. So I built a simple process to do this quickly without the guesswork. Here are 3 effective ways to do it. Method 1 is AI with customer service emails. If you already have customers, this is the easiest place to start. So what you need to do is export your customer service or support emails. These are people telling you in their own words what they care about. Take those emails, drop them into ChatGPT and ask the following. What are the top 5 reoccurring pain points and desired outcomes in these messages? Here's the key insight. Don't try to talk about all 5. Boil it down to one thing. Almost always, these pain points are the symptoms to one core problem. That's the problem you want to anchor your messaging around. When you do that, your copy stops feeling scattered and starts feeling focused. Another method is Grok for real-time trends. The reason why I like Grok is because it connects directly to X. It shows you what people are reacting to in real time. You can set up an automated task with specific prompt and it emails you a daily summary. It takes a couple of minutes to read and you immediately know what's happening in your market. I check this every morning. No scrolling, no feeds, no guessing. ChatGPT has scheduled tasks as well, but without access to real-time social data. It can't show you what's actually gaining attention right now on these social media platforms. Grok tells you what happens as it's connected to X. That's incredibly valuable when you're trying to stay relevant. Method 3 is Reddit for raw, unfiltered opinions. Reddit is where most people stop pretending. There's no PR language, no polished marketing speak, just real people talking about real problems. From using Reddit answers, you can ask a question and instantly see responses pulled from real threads with context and links. For example, last week, I wanted to know what marketers think about cold email deliverability right now. Within 30 seconds, I had the answers. What's working, what's broken, which tools they use, and what frustrates them. That's content ideas, objections, and validation in one search. For example, if you're an agency, ask what are business owners experiencing right now with AI marketing agencies. So those are 3 methods right there. Another optional method you can use is answerthepublic.com. If you want an extra signal, Answer the Public shows you what people are actively searching for. So you find out the questions they're asking, the language they're using, right? It's useful for pressure testing your assumptions, not replacing real insight. So when it comes to those 3 methods, when you combine these, you stop guessing, and once you stop guessing, everything else in this framework starts working, which leads to part 2, earn attention. You see, all the research in the world is useless if nobody pays attention. If you can't stop the scroll, nothing else matters. Every channel today lives inside the same environment, a chaotic, noisy, infinite news feed. Think about your own feed for a second. It's aggressive, it's fast, it's unpredictable. Just showing up in a normal way isn't enough anymore. From years of running and spending money on ads, I learned one lesson the hard way. 90% of media buying doesn't matter. Focus on the creative. The idea comes from ads, but it applies to every channel. Ads just makes it more obvious because you're paying to learn faster. So from this means that you need something that makes a scrolling brain stop and think, what on earth is this? People don't pay attention to better, they pay attention to different. That means doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. As they say, zig when everyone else zags. At the end of the day, consumption precedes conversion. You're not competing with your competitors for attention these days. You're competing with everything else that's thrown in the feed as well. That's more entertaining and more fun than what you're selling. If you want to convert, the first thing they have to do is consume the message. That means giving the market what it already wired to pay attention to: novelty, emotion, curiosity, and dopamine. That's what I call giving your market sugar. So once I made that shift, designing content to be consumed first and converted second, conversion rates across all channels jumped dramatically. The stuff that looks like marketing gets ignored. The second someone's brain recognizes that this is a sales pitch, they are gone. If it looks like you're selling, you're dead on arrival. People don't want to be sold to at the end of the day, right? That's why they scroll past anything that feels like a pitch. And one of the most simplest ways to do that is how you talk. Don't talk like a brand. Don't talk like a marketer. Don't talk to a crowd. Talk to that one person, like a direct conversation. Use the exact language your market uses. Make it feel human, make it feel natural, because attention isn't something you're entitled to. It's something you earn. And if your landing pages or content or anything you're doing isn't converting, it's often not the page problem. It's an attention problem. And once you've earned that attention, your next job is keeping it, which leads to part 3, prove it's for them. You have earned attention. Now you have 2 jobs to do at the same time. One is to make the right person instantly feel that this is for me. And 2, keep them engaged long enough to actually absorb the message. This is where the terms pattern match and pattern interrupt come in. By definition, a pattern match is recognizing and conforming to existing predictable sequences or behaviors. A pattern match is basically how you signal relevance. You're looking for cues your prospect is exposed to every day. So when they see it, their brain goes, yep, that's me. So for example, If you're a business owner, it might be a packed Google Calendar, an overflowing inbox, or constant Slack notifications. If they're a media buyer, it's simply the ads manager, right? These are identity triggers. They are not random visuals. They are symbols of someone's daily reality. When you use them, you're not trying to be clever. You're calling out the right person without saying their job title. That's a pattern match. Then the other part is a pattern interrupt. This is where you keep them engaged. By definition, a pattern interrupt is a technique that disrupts someone's automatic thoughts or behaviors by introducing something unexpected, making them pause and become receptive to a new message or action. Here's the thing though, most people make the mistake of using a pattern interrupt only in the hook, right? It's something you do repeatedly to stop someone from drifting.
When did we establish? Like 3 seconds ago! No, I wasn't listening. I was thinking of something else.
As soon as someone starts consuming your content, their brain settles into a new pattern. They skim, they tune out, they go into autopilot. So you need to re-hook them. Again, you need to re-hook them. A pattern interrupt can be a change in scene, pace, tone, format, or visual. But interrupts only work if they still connect to what your audience cares about. Random weirdness doesn't convert. It just confuses people. So here's how to do it in practice. What you want to do is keep 2 swipe files. One for competitors, so you know what everyone else is doing and where you can do the opposite. Another is for attention. Anything that makes you stop scrolling, click, or keep watching. For example, for the attention swipe file, this could be visuals, colors, layouts, contrast, imagery, or language like the words, phrases, hooks, and tone. It could even be the format, so placement, structure, or the pacing. And lastly, pattern interrupts, like anything else that makes you stop and gets your attention. So those are a few practical ways you can do right now to put it into action. So with part 3, it gives you 2 levers that you can always pull, which is a pattern match to signal relevance and a pattern interrupt to keep attention. Next is part 4, convert without pitching. All of this means nothing if you don't know how to sell against the alternatives your prospect has already tried, because this is rarely their first attempt at solving the problem. Most people make the mistake of treating every lead like they're ready to buy right now. They are not. Your prospects aren't stupid. They tried other solutions. They have seen the promises. They have been burnt, okay? That's why they are skeptical of everyone, including you. But when you call it out, when you say something like, you've probably tried this, it didn't work because of this, here's why that matters, that's when they lean in, because you just proved that you understand their journey. And that's where trust actually starts. Your job here is very simple. Empathize with the prospect. Look at your competitors' messaging, the claims they make, the promises your prospect has already heard. When you do this, 2 things happen at the same time. You build trust because they feel understood, and you differentiate yourself without attacking anyone. Remember, the first transaction was attention. The second is now trust. And the fastest way to destroy that trust is to pitch too early. So instead of pushing something of what I call hard offers, you lead with value. High value content that answers the questions they're already asking, right? That solves their burning problem. Something that feels good as a paid product. When I first started doing this, something interesting happened. Yes, I attracted people who just wanted the free information, but I also captured a huge share of people who were ready to buy. Because ask yourself, what feels less threatening? Book a call, talk to sales, or download this free resource that helps understand your problem. You see, one educates, the other pressures. In any given market, only 3% are ready to buy right now. The 97% aren't ready yet. They're learning, comparing, trying to make sense of the problem. If all you do is pitch them, you lose them. But if you educate them, you earn them. Your job is to move people up that pyramid over time. So here's how you can do this in practice. The best way to offer something is high value content that feels like it should be paid for. These could be something like actionable how-to guides, insight-driven reports that answer key questions and provide clarity, easy skimmable assets, like checklists, cheat sheets, templates, and frameworks. So the aim is to deliver them instantly. No pressure, no sales call, just value. So a quick way to make it enticing and get people to act is actually the headline of the landing page, right? Or the content itself. The headline is everything. If the headline doesn't grab attention, nothing else matters. So your headline just needs to answer 4 things. Is it urgent? Is it unique? Is it specific? Is it useful? If it hits all 4, people lean in. So part 4 is summed down to 2 things: a high value content offer and an enticing headline to get people to act. So those are my 4 principles. It sounds like a lot of work because it is a lot of work. There's no shortcuts here. But if you apply these 4 principles properly, your conversions will improve dramatically. Not because you found a hack, but because you stopped guessing, you earned attention, stayed relevant, built trust, and converted without forcing it. That's how this actually works. If you found this useful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.